Good evening. I'd like to call the April 8th, 2025 Old Bridge Township Council meeting to order. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and for our prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary in this chamber, we stand for a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and for everyone suffering around the world. A moment of silence. Our prayer, Mr. Pasquini.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve you in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant that we have a good conscience and soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen.
This meeting has been held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the Township on December 16, 2024, and is posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, April 22, 2025. Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Here.
Councilman DePalma. Here. Councilman Desai. Is absent. Councilman.
He's here.
He's here. Let the record reflect, Councilman Desai is entering at 7:33 p.m. Councilman Garcia.
Present.
Councilman Murphy.
Here.
Councilman Pasquini.
Present.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Billy.
Present.
Council President Sohar.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the meeting. Tonight, we'll begin with budget items, municipal budget presentation.
Good evening.
Welcome. Thank you, Council, for attending the many budget meetings, subcommittees before the budget. As you know, a lot of work goes into this. We begin in August. I want to thank all the department heads for all the work they did, especially Dawn, Vicki, and Anna. They've worked so hard on this budget, and as we said at the budget subcommittee meeting in our budget presentation, a lot of the things are out of our control, such as pensions and benefits. They continue to rise at an alarming rate, and they're out of our control, but I think we did a pretty good job with the budget this year.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'll start with our 2025 municipal budget goals. As mentioned during our budget introduction in February, we have been working diligently to control our expenditures where possible and explore cost-saving measures by seeking alternative revenue sources to lessen the impact on taxpayers. So our goals are as follows. We are looking to sustain and enhance essential municipal services for Old Bridge residents while adapting to rising costs. We are looking to limit tax increases and ensure compliance with statutory caps to minimize financial burdens on taxpayers. We are strengthening long-term financial planning by maintaining a balanced budget and focus on sustainable fiscal practices, and are identifying opportunities for operational efficiencies and cost-saving strategies for the upcoming years, 2026 and 2027, to ensure continued fiscal health. These goals may sound familiar from past years, but this has to be at the forefront of our minds when we work on the budget. These are always our goals. They may be different every year. We might be, targeting one goal more than others, but these are our goals yearly. We are already working for 26 and 27, and that's done through CDBG funding that we're currently applying for, or grants and things like that as well. Our municipal budget guidelines are state mandated, and we are mandated to adopt an annual budget to authorize spending and/or tax resident for the fiscal year. We have strict budget forms that must be prepared and submitted to the state for approval. The state provides oversight conducted by the Division of Local Government Services under the Department of Community Affairs. State approval is required before the budget can be adopted. Municipal tax levy must align with appropriations minus non-tax revenues as per legal requirements. Projected non-tax revenues must not exceed the previous year's actual non-tax revenue. Actual expenditures cannot surpass the budgeted amount. Transfers within the cap are permitted only in the last 2 months of the year. And finally, fund balance or surplus cannot be used to increase spending after the budget has been adopted. As we often joke, the budget development process is really a year long. As soon as the budget is adopted today, we'll be working on 26 starting tomorrow. This is really something that our CFO and Director of Finance, as well as Vicky and myself, the moment that we adopt this year's budget, we're already thinking about next year's. As for the rest of our departments and our directors, they're very heavily involved in the process as well. In August is when the memorandum and budget guidelines is sent to all department heads. In September, we have all of our requests submitted by the departments. October, we hold our first meetings with all of our department heads. So if you're not familiar with those meetings, this is where our directors will come in and kind of justify what they're asking for. This is also where, at that time, Dawn will kind of go over with them their current year expenditures and have them explain why they've gone over on some lines or maybe not have spent a lot on others, and try to make sure that they balance their budget for the last 3 months of the year. In January is when we have the opportunity to meet with them again. Once the fiscal year closes, we're able to look at what was spent in the previous year, and this helps us guide us for the upcoming year. So in January, that's when we go over all the 24 expenditures and say, this is what we're looking to do for 25 based on previous year spending, things that have come up and things like that. In February of 25 is when we proposed the budget to the council at our February 25th meeting, and that's when we introduced it as well. During the month of March, we received state aid certification on March 5th, 2025, and held our subcommittee meetings on March 13th, 19th, and 26th. Those are public meetings that our council chair, and this is the opportunity for us to go through line by line, literally, for each department, what the requests are, what we're giving, and what things might be cut, and things like that. So we held those in March. Today, we are hosting our public hearing, a budget amendment, and hopefully a budget adoption. And at this time, I will pass it over to Dawn to continue our presentation. Before I do, I really do want to emphasize what Mayor said. Dawn and Vicky are instrumental in all of this. Vicky is our presentation preparer, our book preparer, everything, and really just the behind the scenes. And Dawn, with her expertise and knowledge in finance, really, is what helped us to get this balanced budget this year.
Thank you. 2025 municipal budget overview. The municipal budget represents 17% of the total tax rate and is the only portion of the tax bill that the township officials can directly control. The percentage of municipal taxes in the budget has been on a downward trend. Back in 2013, it represented 21%, and in 2025, 17%. This 17% covers the majority of municipal services that are provided to the residents of Old Bridge, including public safety, public works, health and senior services, parks and facilities, recreation programs, enforcement, and community development. The remaining portion of the tax bill, 83%, funds the Old Bridge Public Schools, Old Bridge Public Library, Middlesex County Government, Middlesex County Open Space Program, and 4 fire districts, Lawrence Harbor, Cheesequake, South Old Bridge, and Madison Park. By statute, the township collects the taxes for all agencies, but the township has no control over these other agencies' budgets. This slide is a graphical presentation of the 2025 tax rate breakdown. As you can see, the biggest slice in red is the school tax at 58%. Municipal tax, the only tax the township controls, is 17%. Now, the township must collect and distribute to all other agencies 100% of their respective levy amount. So we never have a 100% collection rate, but we still have to give all these other districts 100% of their levy. Except for municipal tax and library tax on this slide, all the other agencies are just an estimate. We don't receive the certified billing from the county until usually the first week in July. (2025) municipal budget summary. The 2025 proposed municipal budget calls for $69,323,835 in expenditures. Revenues include $5,814,114 in miscellaneous revenue, $6,347,930 in state aid, $2,235,000 in uniform construction and code enforcement fees, $425,000 in municipal court fines and costs, $550,000 in interest on investments and deposits, $1.5 million in receipts from delinquent taxes, and $38,646,240 as the amount to be raised by taxation. An anticipation of $13 million from fund balance will be required to bring the 2025 budget into balance. This will leave $5,958,793.28 in cash fund balance to help with potential emergencies for 2025 and to help stabilize taxes in 2026. The proposed municipal tax rate is estimated to be 1.030 in 2025, which reflects a tax increase of 0.017 over 2024. For an average home in Old Bridge assessed at $157,373, the proposed municipal tax increase would be $27. 2025 library budget summary. The municipal library purposes expenditure category is included as an appropriation in the municipal budget. However, since 2011, the amount is deducted from the municipal tax levy in the calculation of the amount to be raised by taxation for municipal purposes. The 2025 minimum state required funding for the Old Bridge Public Library is $4,058,543, which reflects an increase of $453,580 over 2024. The associated tax rate is estimated to be 0.108 in 2025, which reflects an increase of 0.010 in the tax rate over 2024. For an average home in Old Bridge assessed at $157,373, the municipal library tax increase would be $16. Under the statute, the minimum amount required by the state cannot be decreased by the library board or the municipality. (2025) total budget summary, municipal and library. The total general appropriation for 2025 includes municipal library purposes is $73,382,378 compared to $72,490,218 in the 2024 budget as modified. This is a total budget increase of $892,160, or 1.23%. And of that budget increase, it's kind of almost 50-50 library and municipal portion. The proposed tax rate for both municipal and municipal library purposes for 2025 is therefore estimated to be 1.138, which reflects a tax increase of 0.027 over 2024. For an average assessed home in Old Bridge assessed at $157,378, the proposed municipal and municipal library tax increase would be $43. This slide shows a breakdown of expenditures between salary and wages, other expenses, and the library appropriation from 2020 to 2025. Other expenses is in blue, salary and wages in red, and the library appropriation in green. Since we are a service industry, obviously labor costs are our biggest expense. However, our salary costs have remained pretty stable. In the last 3 years, we've seen major increases in salaries as we try and compete with, other private companies and to, retain, good employees. $2025 expenditures. The salary and wages expenditure category has increased by $1,574,876. In addition to contractual increases and minimum wage increases, the 2025 budget includes funding for one new full-time position in the police department, a patrol officer, and one new full-time position in the Department of Public Works, a laborer. We need to increase our staffing levels to meet the increase in service demands and to better assist the public. I know one thing we always get is, how do we do so much in a town this size with the staff we have? I know I get it all the time in the tax office, 22,000 line items almost now, and essentially, 2 employees in the office. But so far this year, we have settled 4, hopefully 5 after tonight, of the non-union contracts that expired at the end of 2024. So that has been accounted for in this budget as well. The other operating expenses expenditure category has increased by $445,941. The major increase under this expenditure is health insurance. But also another large increase we had this year was the recycling contract, which 39% in total. However, we won't see the full effect of that until next year because it started just April 1st, and then we'll be using some grant money this year to kind of cover some of those expenses. The municipal debt service expenditure category has increased by $133,725. This increase is the result of the amortization of previously issued bonds and notes. The statutory expenditure category has increased by $899,066. The major increase under this expenditure category is the police and firemen's retirement system, which went up almost $700,000 this year. The increase is the result of a combination of the required contribution rate by the state, which has increased, contractual increases, and the additional hiring in the police department. The deferred charges expenditure category has increased by $52,482. The major increase under this expenditure category is the contribution to Arena. This year we needed to contribute about $46,000. The revenues, while still, pretty good, we had a little less in the public skating sessions as well as one less hockey team. So the revenues were not as much over the anticipated amount as it has been in prior years. The capital improvement fund expenditure category has not been changed for 2025. The proposed budget anticipates the same level of funding as last year, $280,000. The proposed capital budget for 2025 is expected to be $6,180,000 for curbing, drainage, facilities and road improvements, parks and playground improvements, replacement of equipment and vehicles for various departments and divisions. Capital projects will be discussed in further detail during the capital presentation. The reserve for uncollected taxes expenditure category has increased by $550,000. This is a statutory non-spending appropriation. The actual tax collection rate for 2024 was 98.54%, and our projected collection rate for 2025 is 98.54%. The township usually projects 1% lower than our actual collection rate. If you notice, our rate is always in the 99, it's usually about 1% higher. We did have a large farmland rollback tax that is under appeal, and the owner did not pay the taxes. That is the reason. It didn't really affect, because what was part of the budget was separate. The added and omitted are kind of billed in October on top of the budgeted amount, but it does factor into the collection rate, so that's why it's showing lower here. But we kind of feel that this is an anomaly, that this year our collection rate will go back. But because of that, it did drop it about 1%. So. 2025 expenditures, pie chart breaking down the expenditures by category. The biggest slice is obviously salary and wages at 41.25%. It's important to note that employee salaries and benefits comprise just under 64% of the total budget when you factor in Social Security, pension, and insurance for the employees. Next biggest is operating expenses at 29.28%. And we always like to keep an eye on the debt service. Rating agencies like to see it 10% or under, and we're currently at 7.62%. The further breakdown of expenditures by department, largest slice is public safety, showing our investment in public safety, which is over 1/4 of our budget is for police and public safety. The next largest is insurance, which includes health and liability insurances. Moving on to revenues, total municipal revenue, including the municipal library tax levy, has increased by $892,160. The fund balance revenue category has been increased by $1.5 million. The miscellaneous revenues category has been increased by $119,840. The major increase under this revenue category is tax court judgments that were in our favor. The state aid revenue category has been decreased by $652,994. The major decrease in this revenue category is municipal relief fund. We've talked in prior years, the state back in 2022 had given some additional state aid called municipal relief fund in the amount of $326,567, which we then anticipated in 23's budget. In 23, they doubled that amount to $653,134, which we then anticipated in 24. In 24, they did not give this municipal relief fund, so that kind of, gave us a little $650,000 hole there in state aid. The uniform construction code fees revenue category has not been changed for 2025. The proposed budget anticipates the same level of funding as last year. The municipal court fines and costs revenue category has been increased by $50,000. Municipal court revenues have been creeping back up to the pre-COVID levels. Court is they're having more in-person court, and we've been seeing an increase in those revenues. The interest on investments and deposits revenue category has been increased by $200,000. That's one that I'm always kind of a little leery about increasing, because we all know one change can, drop those rates. But I think where we have it, I'm comfortable with. The receipts from delinquent taxes revenue category has been increased by $500,000. This anticipated amount is within the limit of the statutory formula. And the amount to be raised by taxation revenue category has been increased by $1,416,482 from $37,229,758 in 2024 to $38,646,240 for 2025. Even though there's an increase in the amount to be raised by taxation of 3.8%, the tax rate increase is only 1.68% due to the increase in assessed value. This pie chart further breaks down the revenue. The largest piece, as always, is amount to be raised by taxation, 52.66%. And the second largest is fund balance at 17.72%. We're going to drill down further in revenues by looking back at the last 5 years for each revenue category. As I just explained, municipal state aid, it was flat for 3 years, well, flat for many, many years. And then we did get that little bump in municipal relief aid, as well as a slight, I think it was something like a 0.5% increase the last 2 years. But now they took away that municipal relief aid, so we're kind of back where we were. No. The municipal relief fund aid, they didn't give out this year, or I'm sorry, in 2024. What? I'm not sure. Was it COVID money?
Yeah, it was.
It was? Okay. That's why. It was COVID money. Surplus anticipated from fund balance. In 2020, we anticipated $7 million. In 2021, due to the impact of the pandemic, we decreased by $850,000 to $6,150,000. This allowed us to maintain our cash fund balance for emergencies. In 2022, due to most revenues being restored to pre-pandemic levels, we were able to anticipate $9.5 million and still maintain our cash fund balance. In 2023, we anticipated that same amount, $9.5 million. And in 24, we anticipated $11.5 million while still maintaining our cash fund balance. And for 2025, we anticipated $13 million. Again, still while maintaining that cash fund balance. The next slide, which is my favorite, will show in more detail the relationship between fund balance and surplus. The blue represents the fund balance as of January 1st of each year. The red represents the surplus amount in the budget from fund balance, so the amount that we anticipate in each year's budget. The purple represents the remaining cash balance throughout the year, and the green represents the fund balance as of December 31st of each year, which then carries over to the following year. The rating agencies pay specific attention to fund balance when reviewing our rating, and this is part of our long-term financial planning, and it is reflected in our bond rating. So as you can see, we're maintaining that cash fund balance and even increasing it along the way, even though the amount we were anticipating had increased. Uniform construction and code fees. When anticipating these revenues, we look at historical trends as well as projects approved by the planning and zoning boards and the redevelopment agencies. So we're keeping that the same level as last year. Municipal court fines and costs. We felt comfortable this year putting it back up to the pre-pandemic amount that we had of $425,000. As I said, more in-person court sessions, as well as the police have been picking up as far as enforcement on Route 9, as well as some of the side, cut-through streets and things like that. So we have been seeing an increase in court revenue lately. Interest on investments and deposit. Interest rates took a sharp decline in 2020 due to COVID, and it was reflected in our projections in 21 and 22. But midway through 22, the interest rates began to rise as reflected in 23, and we were able to increase the amount anticipated in 24 and 25 due to interest rates remaining at that high level. Miscellaneous revenues, these always kind of fluctuate a bit. The miscellaneous revenues include interest and costs on taxes, tower rental fees, interlocal service fee agreements, fees and permits, pilots, cable franchise fees, licenses, and state and federal grants. And one of the main reasons it fluctuates so much is the state and federal grants, because sometimes, we received that police technology grant last year, $1.3 million. That's something that's not an every year thing. I mean, NJDOT grants are usually around the same amount each year, so while bigger, it is kind of consistent, but that's why you see a fluctuation in this category. Receipts from delinquent taxes. They'd stated the amount anticipated is within the limit of our statutory formula, so we were able to increase that this year. Amount to be raised by taxation. The blue bar reflects the municipal tax, and the red bar reflects the library tax. Statutory caps. The cost of living cap adjustment enacted by the state requires each municipality to limit any increase in said budget up to 2.5% as annually set by the state, unless authorized by ordinance to increase it to 3.5% over the previous year's final appropriations. So we had back, when we introduced the budget, we also introduced the cap ordinance, which we then adopted at the next council meeting. For Old Bridge Township, the proposed final budget appropriation for 2025 is $57,005,016, which is $1,065.02 below the state mandated cap base of $57,006,081.02. The property tax levy cap enacted in 2010 by the state requires each municipality to limit the local government unit's amount to be raised by taxation to no more than 2% over the prior year's levy. The state allows specific exceptions for health benefits, pensions, length of service awards program, or LOSAP, for volunteers, capital improvements, and debt service. For Old Bridge Township, the proposed municipal tax levy for 2025 is $38,646,240, which is $561,433 below the state mandated property tax levy cap of $39,207. $39,207,673. All right, I'm gonna turn it back over to Anna to discuss the future.
Thank you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, budget process for 2026 starts tomorrow. So we really are going to start thinking about what are the potential challenges ahead, not just for 26, but 27 as well. When I came in last January, I kind of did a 2-year outlook and see what was going on, what we were doing. So this is how we're going to approach 26 and 27 as well. The potential challenges remain the same as previous years. There's obviously a lot of unknowns. So national, state, and local economic conditions will have an impact on us over the next 2 years. So we have to find ways to adapt to that. You never know weather-related emergencies and costs. We've been very fortunate over the last few years that when we've had mostly flooding, not necessarily snow emergencies, we have been able to collect back from FEMA and other organizations. Our departments, Public Works, Police, Engineering, even Recreation, are very good at keeping track of any weather-related expenses that they've incurred, whether we had flooding in our basement, I think, in Recreation one year, we were able to recoup. And Finance does a great job at submitting anything that we can get to get that money back. So obviously, we have to plan for those things. As far as contractual and statutory cost increases, that is really mostly going to be insurance costs, probably, and pension over the next couple of years to see where they go. As you know, we are always going out for market for our health insurance yearly to see what is out there. We're currently under the state health benefit, which at this time is the best option for the town, both for the cost to the employee and the benefits that they receive. We'll be going out in May for market to see what's out there, if it is worth going back to private, and that could have an impact. So we'll keep an eye on that. As far as contractual goes, as Dawn mentioned, we have settled 4 of our 9 unions, hoping to settle number 5 later tonight. We still have 4 outstanding. We're looking to get those done as well. So those contracts are 4-year contracts, so they necessarily won't impact us over the next 2 years, but we will keep an eye on those. Accumulated time payouts for retirees. We do have quite a bit of employees still that are here that are entitled to those accumulated payouts. The law changed in 2010 regarding payouts for sick leave and vacation, so there's been a lot of mandated statutes that have come out on that, but we still have a lot of employees that fall that before 2010 statute that will be entitled to these payouts in our police department, I believe some in our Public Works Department and Parks Department. So we have to account for those things as those employees look to retire over the next couple of years. We are looking to also potentially be ordered to implement a municipal-wide revaluation and have those related costs as well. I've been working closely with our tax assessor over the last few weeks, discussing what the options are out there. Right now, we've been extended to 2026. As to when we will need to get this done, but him and I have started the process of figuring out what we're going to need to do and what kind of costs will be incurred with that as well. Tax appeal refunds, hopefully some of these appeals that we have out there will come to fruition and we'll be seeing that money back that Dawn mentioned. We did not recoup in '24. And also, we don't know if there will be new or unfunded state mandates. I know one of the biggest ones that came out over the past year that I came in, and PD can talk about that, but there was a lot of policing mandates that came in, new trainings, different things like that were required, but no funding provided to do that. So we've had to address some of those licensing requirements and things like that. So we're looking to make sure we're following those mandates. So these are things that are, again, out of our control, but that we must follow. Okay. And our 2026 and 2027 potential opportunities, again, ongoing cost containment strategies. We're always looking for competitive contracting for services. We've been doing really well with co-op purchasing for goods and services also over the last couple of years, and that has helped us keep our costs down. As you know, one of our biggest things that I personally rely on, and I know that this is something that all of our directors also look for, is grants, whether they're federal, state, county, and local grants. We have a great grant consulting company, Millennium Strategies, that helps us with, from beginning to end, the application, the submission, the reporting, and that has made a huge difference over the last couple of years I've been here, but even before that. Just speaking from previous experience, the senior center alone, who has a $30,000 operating budget, not counting their salaries and wages, receives over $130,000 in grants. That helps them operate those things. We receive grants for everything, to police, like Dawn mentioned, to roadway reconstruction, drainage, to also equipment for public works, things for our parks, development of our parks. I mean, really, there's a grant for everything out there. If there's a grant out there, we'll find it. Why use our money if we could use somebody else's, right? So we will continue to do that, to go out and seek those grants and work. They're a lot of work from beginning to end. Even with our consulting company, it's still a lot of work for our directors and employees to put the grant applications together, to do the reporting on the grants afterwards, but they are well worth it. Also, we will hope to add and enhance some of our shared services that we currently have with the Old Bridge Public Library, the Old Bridge Public Schools, Middlesex County Government, and other neighboring municipalities. So that's something we are continuously working on to see how we can enhance those services. And at this time, I hope you will look to adopt our 2025 budget. I believe we can take questions now, or is it after? Oh, Bob, yep.
Turn over to Bob.
Sorry, Bob.
Let me be short and sweet. This is, I don't want to say that in the wrong way about being boring, but being stable sometimes is boring. And what this town is very stable. From year to year, no matter what we run into, whether it's COVID or any other type of issue, our finances stay in a very good spot. I have clients who, when they are no longer getting the state aid we talked about and federal aid with regard to COVID, they're in a very dire spot right now because they were living off that money, and that money was needed for them to supplement, in some ways, actually supplant their own local revenues. But here, we were able to take that money, and it was great, but we were also able to grow our surplus so that when that was taken away from us, we don't have to miss a beat. So I think that's very good. The tax rate's going up 1.6, 1.7%, which is far below inflation, and you're absorbing pension costs, healthcare costs, which are going up much higher than inflation. Our surplus is still is still and continues to be at a stronger level. We talked about the state, not the state, but the rating agencies on Wall Street who look at our operation and they give us a bond rating every year, and our bond rating is just about as strong as you can get within the confines of the type of town we have. We probably can't get to the AAA level just because of demographics and things that are beyond our control, but we are at the next highest level. And our surplus, our fund balance to our budget continues to grow. Right now, we're at about 25%, and that's a strong number. And the rating agencies, they like to see that. And I'll go back to what I said before, they also like to see boring. They like to see consistent growth without spikes going up and then going down. So I commend you for your efforts here, and I think it's a good budget to pass.
I just have one more comment. We do have state approval to adopt the budget tonight. There were a few minor amendments that are in the resolution that are on this meeting tonight, but it didn't affect, it did slightly affect the tax levy, but did not affect the tax rate. Yes.
I just want to say that the state continues to put mandates on us, unfunded mandates, but we've been able to keep the budget in great financial standing, despite all these things put us by the state continuously, such as Oprah, things like that. And as you see, they took away some of our funding. And I think it stayed the same for like 15 years, I believe, before it went up a little with the COVID, but then they took it back. And also the library is out of our control. That's by state statute, that rise. So we have no control over that either. And if you look at the pie chart, you can see we only get 17% of it on a dollar. So it's not a lot, and we give a lot of service with that little bit of money.
Thank you very much for a very good presentation, very thorough, and it's very appreciated, all the work. I'd like to ask for a motion. Wait, John, we have to do the motion first. The public hearing.
Make a motion.
Okay.
Move it.
A public hearing.
Motion by Councilman Murphy. Can we have a second? Councilman Asatuli. Okay. Public.
Yes, a roll call, please.
Councilman Asatuli.
Thank you.
Yes.
Councilman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay, we're good. We're going to open it up to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to come forth and be heard about the budget? Seeing no hands, I'll close public portion. Council, I will start on my left. Okay, we'll start, let's just go right down the line, John, okay? Mr. Desai, do you have any questions? You're good? Okay, Mrs. DeCaro.
I just have a simple question. I missed what you said back on the 2025 expenditure page in the pie chart where salary and wages were. It says 41.25%, but then I think I heard you say something that it's actually 64%. Is that what you said? Did I?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, so just the salary and wage portion is 41.25%. But when you factor in social security costs, pension, insurance, all the benefits that are in the budget for the employees, the total employee cost is just under 64%.
So that comes from some of these other
Yes.
pieces of the pie? Okay.
So it would come from, well, this one, insurance is part of other operating expenses, but the statutory expenses as well. And then if you look at the slide, it's on page 15, 2025 department expenditure percent.
Got it.
I mean, it kind of breaks down by department, and the department one is salary and wage and other expenses, but it does break out insurance costs that are about 11 million and statutory expenditures.
Okay, thank you. I was trying to find it on the pie chart and do the math in my head. Thank you.
No problem.
That was it.
Okay, I don't have any questions, I just want to say something. This is my 9th or 10th budget that I've been approving. This went so well. All three of you did a great job. And I have to, the council was very good with it. All the department heads, and even Casey, you got your person. And that's all I want to say. Everybody did a hell of a job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mama?
Just thank you guys for all the hard work, especially, Anna dealing with all the contracts this year. Like I said, let's start staggering these so we're not coming up on it, but the fact that we're in the process of settling all the contracts for all unionized employees this year and then still keeping the numbers down to where we are. Just thank you all for that.
I just want to thank you for your hard work and efforts. Seamless transition from the other business administrator to our new business administrator. And from the old mayor to the new mayor. Guys did a good job. Thank you.
What are you trying to say? I want to thank you guys as well. You guys did a great job. It's my 4th budget, and it seems like you guys do a great job every year. So keep up the good work, and get busy for next year. Or next year, I guess.
Already, right? Tomorrow.
Guys, good luck, guys. Thank you. Great job.
Mr. Asatuli?
Obviously, thank you. And what I find really amazing is that you always put taxpayers first. You always have the taxpayers in mind. And even as a citizen and a councilman, I really appreciate it, all of you. Thank you.
Excellent effort on everyone's behalf. It's a nonstop work process throughout the whole year. When you look at this budget, it is very frustrating, I know, to achieve this in these times with the economic position that we're in. It's nice to always hear that we are fiscally responsible and we've had a stable budget and that we're viewed by an outside agency, Moody's, and someone else is evaluating you also and saying you're doing an excellent job with a double A bond rating. Plus, but it is, when you look at this, it's very glaring that the state, as you said, puts certain mandates on us, and we have to come up with money and ways to fund that. Well, that's not only here, it's also in the MUA. And so it really affects all the taxpayers. Then you go back and you look at how much state aid we get, how it's been stable. Yes, it went up during COVID, the fund from there, but that was actually from the federal government. It really wasn't from the state. So really, the state really hasn't participated much in making, assessing communities. And I obviously never took this on myself, but I'm always curious that our state aid is stable. How's it fluctuate in other towns? Does it go up? Is it going up? And, that I will probably want to look into. And also, in spite of COVID, as Mr. Allison said, we did quite well then with our budget. And then the fund balance, and that we have a strong fund balance in case there is ever a crisis, that, Old Bridge is going to be all right. And that speaks volumes also. So it is very frustrating, to do this, and once again, I like to say, it's 17 cents out of every dollar. We always get yelled at, obviously, when taxes go up, it affects everyone. It's not, we want it stable, but there's things that we have no say about, especially when you see how health insurance has gone up. And the whole, in the country, our GDP is now up to about 18% of that. It's incredible, the cost of, health insurance, and it's very frustrating to always go work with that. But with this, when you have a stable budget like this, and, we never like to raise taxes, but it's a reality that you have to do this, but we take care of 17%. Since we collect it, so that's another thing I like to say, our workers collect all the taxes. So we get yelled at it because that's where people come and they pay for the taxes, where they mail it in, come to the desk, and then we have to distribute the money. So we're doing the work for other agencies too, and that's very frustrating on our, the people that work in the tax office, that that's our labor, but we're doing other people's work. So I don't think people, take pause and look at everything that's involved with this, but really what it comes back to, you're doing a great job, and I appreciate it very much. For looking forward into the future, and we'll continue to do that. Thank you.
I'll just finish up the comments with, first of all, I'm not going to say which budget this is of mine, because then you'll know how old I am. But it has been quite a while, and I have seen a good progression through the years. I've seen stability that wasn't there before. I've seen times when I sat and looked at a budget and said, "Oh my God, this can't be." But it was. So I think there's been a lot of positive that's come through the years. I think this team has been here now, Vicki and Dawn. And it's many years of learning and growing, and it shows. And thank you, Bob, also for all the wisdom that you bring, because through the years, you've helped us segue through a lot of different problems and come out the other side, so to speak. So I think for the residents, it's stability. It shows that we're positive. We understand what needs to be done. And it is challenging. I mean, we have lost some state funding. The state mandates, as everyone has said, have gone up. And it's hard for us to compensate for all that. But I do think we do put the residents in the forefront, and we give them that stability that they know we are good stewards of their money. We really, really do try to be. So thank you all, the whole team, administration, department heads, our auditor, everyone. Thank you very much for all the hard work. And hopefully we'll meet the challenges now going into a new budget towards 2026. Oh my God, I can't. But anyway, thank you all very, very much. So we have a motion and a second, and I'd like to ask for a roll call. We did. No, for the amendment? Yes. Right.
Can I have a motion for the resolution amending the calendar year budget?
Second.
Okay.
Moved by Councilman DePalma, second by Councilman Murphy. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes. Yep, now is the motion to adopt the calendar year 2025 budget in the total appropriations amount of $73,382,378. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Asatuli, second by Councilman Pasquitti. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman DePalma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli? And Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Bob. Thank you. Okay, now that we gave you a minute, we're going to go on the capital budget presentation.
All right, capital improvement program, general overview. The capital improvement program is a multi-year plan and schedule for capital projects. The state requires us to have a 6-year capital improvement plan that's provided in the back of the state budget. This is only a plan and it's always subject to change, but municipal infrastructure needs constant attention and maintenance. Failure to maintain your infrastructure will put your community at risk for future years. By statute, capital projects have a prospective useful life of 5 years or more. Capital projects may include the acquisition and/or development of land, the acquisition of major equipment and personal property, the acquisition, construction, improvement, and/or renovations of buildings, roads, utilities, and other structures, improvements of public works, and any other matter described in NJSA 40A:2-22, regardless of the financing sources. The annual capital budget is prepared and adopted in conjunction with the annual operating budget. Administrative preparation of the capital budget includes a thorough review of each departmental project request in terms of need, justification, scheduling, cost, effects on operating budget, method of financing, and impact on municipal debt structure. So just as we hold department meetings on the operating budget, we also hold them on the capital project requests as well. The capital budget does not directly appropriate funds. The appropriation of funds is made part of the capital improvement section of the budget and/or by adoption of a bond ordinance. So on tonight's agenda, there's the 2 bond ordinances for general and arena improvements. Upon completion of a project, any unexpended balances are canceled by council resolution. This is usually done once a year in December. Capital improvement planning and budgeting goals. Continue to develop a comprehensive 6-year capital program on an annual basis that supports township goals and objectives for equipment, facilities, infrastructure, and technologies. So we don't just look at the current year, but develop a plan for several years for replacements and upgrades. It helps eliminate the need for considering projects on an emergency basis and helps schedule resources and equipment to ensure their maximum utilization and efficiency. We continue to develop and implement a management system for prioritizing, tracking, and reporting on capital projects to ensure timely acquisition and/or completion. So finance and administration hold routine capital projects meetings, usually on a quarterly basis, to discuss the status of projects. We look to maximize the utilization of grants to offset capital costs and related debt service. As Anna had touched on, we like to use other people's money. We've received congressional funding. Right now in process, the $1.3 million we received for police technology upgrades, that's in process. They're doing renovations to 201 now, as well as the other projects that were applied for in that grant. We applied last year for an addition for the food bank building. Was rejected last year, but we're applying again this year, so hopefully we get that. The American Rescue Plan money we use towards parks improvements, Menino, Cottrell, Geik Park. Green Acres funding, last year we received $750,000 for the Geik Park inclusive playground. You'll see that as part of this bond ordinance, the funding for that. And this year we are currently applying for Green Acres funding for Menino Park. We have our annual DOT grants from the state. This year we were awarded funding for Cindy Street for Phase 1. That's part of this budget. And always our annual CDBG funding, where we'll use for road reconstruction in eligible areas, equipment and facility upgrades at the senior center and food food bank, ADA improvements to facilities within the complex. We look to minimize the property tax impact of capital projects and related debt service through sound financial planning and balancing of debt repayment schedules, which we'll discuss later in the presentation.
Really quickly, one of the things I would like to touch on that Dawn mentioned regarding CDBG funding, what's great about it, we can use it for roads, we can use it for example, the food bank receives funding through that to purchase food. We receive it towards the salaries of employees at the senior center, renovation at the senior center. Recently, the craft room was completely redone, all the cabinets, countertops, and everything. So it's a big grant that we rely on heavily because it supports those kind of underfunded populations and minorities that we have. Our food bank is always in need of food and things like that, and this is a good way. It's also funded for us this year for the food bank new refrigerators, as well as for the senior center, a new freezer and refrigerator for the county meal program. So the CDBG funding is a big part of this. And, every year our teams work together. Nicole, our township engineer, oversees the distribution of the funds, but it's a team effort. All the directors come together and kind of say, okay, this is what we're looking, this is how much money we have, how do we allocate it and meet the needs of everyone. So just wanted to highlight that really quickly. Thank you.
We're going to take a very brief look back at the last 3 years of capital projects. We scaled it back from 5. This is the 2022 capital budget. We were kind of heavy on the parks improvements in 2022 and 23 due to the ARP funding. So we did improvements at Cottrell Farm Park, Menino Park. We upgraded replaced playground equipment at Central Park and Genoa Park, as well as converting the 5th Street basketball courts to a playground area. Pickleball court installation at Menino Park, as well as a Gike Park synthetic turf conversion. So the 2022 capital budget authorized was $10,675,000, and the current balance is $1,534,321.93. For 2023 capital, again, this is a list of the projects. One thing you see throughout all the years, our annual curbing, drainage, road reconstruction. We always have vehicle and equipment replacement. Some of our larger projects are done in different phases, such as here, Stevens Avenue pipe replacement, phase 4 here. I think we're up to phase 6 now, but yeah, larger projects, especially Cottrell, Menino, are done in phases because they're multi-million-dollar projects. The 2023 capital budget, the total amount authorized was $14,667,000. The current balance, $8,591,155.89. 2024 capital budget, the list of all the projects. One thing we've been focusing on in recent years is security upgrades, mainly our door swipe access system. I mean, we've had it on some of the doors. The first floor has kind of had it now for at least 15 years, but we did the renovations to the second floor with security improvements. Now expanding the door swipes into recreation, senior center, public works. And then, every year we'll probably have capital funding for it because as they get outdated and they need replacement. Also exterior door replacements. And the plans are almost done for the DPW building lobby security improvements. And that's one of the projects that's partially CDBG funded, about 50% of it. 2024 capital budget, total authorized $7,005,000, and the current balance $2,684,833.18. Which brings us to this year's 2025 capital budget. Projects include annual curbing replacement at various locations, annual drainage improvement program at various locations, Cheesequake Village Haven Drive drainage improvements, and NJDEP stormwater mapping and watershed inventory report. Under equipment, for recreation, a speaker and PA system. This will be used at our special events, Old Bridge Day, the Halloween spectacular, events like that. For the police department, body-worn cameras and gym defensive tactics area. This is for police training that I believe is now being mandated.
Yes, this is part of the police licensing that I was talking about earlier, different trainings and things like that. So to reduce some of the cost of us having to go somewhere, we are setting up a kind of a training room down in the recreation building in one of the rooms that will be locked to the public. So that way we could just bring a trainer here and be able to do the training on site and things like that. So it reduces some of the cost as well. We already had the space available, so some of this funding here is gonna go towards getting the space up and ready.
All right. And continuing with equipment for the Department of Public Works, Hurricane Leaf Blower, Foam Stream Eco-Friends Weed Killer, Single Axle Snowplow and Salter, Switch and Go Dump Bodies, F550 Plow and Salter, Welder, and Mobile Vehicle Column Lifts for our garage. Under facility improvements, Campus Generator Project, that's one of those multi-phase projects. Lawrence Harbor Baseball Complex roof replacement, door access control systems, carpet replacement, animal shelter building improvements, and arena boiler replacement. Furniture, office furniture replacements. This is mainly administration building on the first floor. Parks improvements, Menino Park parking lot lights, tennis courts at the municipal complex, Menino Park improvements, Gike Park inclusive playground. This is that Green Acres funding we received in 2024 being allocated. Menino Park pickleball, basketball, and bocce courts, Menino Park cricket field / multi-use field, and Cottrell Farm Park Phase 3 site improvements. Under road improvements, our annual road resurfacing program, and NJDOT cost sharing for the Cindy Street Road resurfacing Phase 1. Under vehicles, for the Department of Public Works, a rack body dump truck and a single access dump truck, as well as a senior bus for our senior center. The 2025 capital budget has a total project cost of $6.1 million. Section 20 costs of $80,000, which includes bonding costs and can also be used for preliminary engineering and architect fees. The $750,000 of other funding is the Green Acres funds. A down payment is required of $272,200, which is provided in this budget and previous budgets through the Capital Improvement Fund appropriation, which leaves us with net borrowing of $5,157,800. Finishing up, the capital funding process begins with the adoption of the multi-purpose capital bond ordinance, which authorizes project borrowings. On tonight's agenda, we have the general capital and arena improvement ordinances. The next step is issuance of short-term bond anticipation notes, or BANs. These notes are limited to 1-year expiration from the date of reissue. We renew these BANs for an additional 2 to 3 years to allow for projects to be completed and the final amount of borrowing to be determined. Some of these notes are paid down each year, and then also new money added as projects keep moving. Then after 2 or 3 years, we'll convert the multiple short-term BANs into an issuance of a long-term bond. The annual amortization of township debt is approximately 7.62% of the annual budget. We try to keep our debt service as flat as possible from year to year to not have any large fluctuations. The rating agencies find this percentage to be very reasonable. They like to see it under 10%. And the township's AA1 rating from Moody's Investor Services is the second highest rating Moody's assigns. And this high rating has an impact on the borrowing rate and financing costs, which then helps us reduce those costs, which we then pass on to the taxpayer. This is a table of our current debt amortization. It includes township-issued bonds for general capital and arena utility funds. The Environmental Infrastructure Trust loan that we have had in past years was fully paid off, that 20-year loan in 2024. This chart does not include bans or projects authorized but debt not issued. Our current debt amortization is 11 years. The amortization is important because these capital projects provide a long-term benefit, 5, 10, 20 years, so we're paying it off over, those years. We have an informal policy not to borrow more than we retire, and we leave enough room for additional borrowing. So this is kind of when we had the national lead settlement and we had to go before local finance board, and they kind of, told us we needed to pay a certain amount of that debt down in 2025. We were able, again, to work it into our budget because we kind of have those cushions built in here. We'll probably look to issue bonds later this year, most likely early in 2026. And finally, we have a graphical presentation of our outstanding debt. You see it goes down each year, but again, as we issue new debt, we kind of will fill it in to keep it level in our budget. All right, and we're recommending that council adopts these two bond ordinances tonight so our department heads can keep moving forward with our capital improvements. We'll open it up now if anybody has any
Thank you
questions.
very much. Anyone, do you ladies have anything you want to add before we ask? No? Okay.
We just want to say that we're continuing to improve our roads, our drainage from year to year, and we put money into capital for that, which wasn't done way in the past.
Okay, all right. Anyone have a question or a concern? Mr. Pesky.
Hi, I just wanted to know, how do you come up with the road improvement number? So if you go back 5 years and you look at the road improvement number, it fluctuates up and down. So how do you actually get to that number? I'm just wondering.
Our township engineer gives it to us.
Okay, so it's figured in engineering.
You're talking about the curbing improvements and drainage and things like that?
Road, not curbing, but the road improvements.
Oh, I'm sorry, the road, so all those things, it's based on the assessment that Nicole
Engineering
provides
does?
us. yeah.
Okay, great,
So I
thank
believe
you.
in 22, 23, they did a presentation of a 5-year outlook of all the roads that needed resurfacing, and they were kind of rated, and things change, obviously, things come up, roads, deteriorate maybe faster than originally anticipated, so roads are shifted off that list and moved up and things like that, but the numbers that we put in here are based on the requests that are put in by our township engineer
Okay,
and our team.
that answers my question. Thank you very much.
No, I just wanted to thank you guys. One of the line items is something that Council President and I have talked about in Menino Park, the cricket fields. So I think it's great, the expansion of that park as we kind of go forward. It's a baseball facility, I guess, theoretically now with the pickleball courts, but as we expand it, there's so much more land that we could utilize for our residents and the growing population that we have within the township that would utilize those cricket fields. I think it'll be a nice addition to the park once it's done.
I agree. The park has really expanded in active recreation. It's, we have passive recreation facilities in town, but this is a very active recreation. And while the emphasis and the center of that park is baseball and softball, we've had the dog park in there. Now we have the pickleball courts. We have a playground. We're going to have a new playground coming up. We're going to we're going to have a basketball court, bocce court. So there's a little bit for everyone. I think we're addressing the needs. One of the things that Dawn mentioned and Mayor's mentioned is what the needs of our residents are. And I think as growth and popularity of different sports and things grow, we have to kind of go with the times. And I think that's what we're doing. And the fact that that park offers all that space for us to be able to continue doing so is really good. And we could still have our Cottrell Farm Park, that's more of a passive recreation with, some activities for the younger kids and things like that. So it's good that we're able to have kind of that sports facility in a park atmosphere.
We'll be adding a new playground in Menino. The other one's going to be taken down. It's going to be over by the ball fields. It's going to be a baseball theme.
Very good. Anyone?
Yeah, do you have any plans to do anything with Veterans Park? It's become a disgrace. Is there plans for that?
So we've talked about that, yes. We have some money allocated for that as well.
Okay.
As you may know, we do have some vandalism issues at Veterans Park that we've tried to address through putting up cameras and different things. So I know that we're looking to redo the tennis courts and things there. So we hope that when we do that, we're able to add additional security, whether it's fencing, things that will prevent people from driving onto our fields. We have had people drive onto the soccer fields there. Really, it's a shame. So yes, we definitely will be looking. We would like to make sure that all of our parks have equitable services and amenities that all of our facilities do. So
Okay, thank you very much.
no problem.
Okay. Anyone else? Are we good? Anybody? You good? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I think it was a very good presentation. And I think you're always thinking ahead for the public, what's good for them, what activities they like. And I think this is a very, very good budget. So I will ask now for a motion for bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $6,105,000 for various improvements in and by the Township of Old Bridge in the county of in the county of Middlesex, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $5,086,600 bonds or notes of the township for financing part of this appropriation. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Okay, so moved by Dr. Greenberg, second by Mr. Murphy. Yep, I'm opening it to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard?
Thank you, Councilman Murphy, for bringing up Veterans Park. I'd like to know how much money they're allocating to it in the budget. Does anybody have an idea?
We have some past funding, I believe. I don't know the top of my head the number for this year, but I know that we've redone the roof at Veterans Park on the building recently, and there's money allocated from previous years also for the court renovation as well. So those are the projects we're going to start with. Enhancement of security is also a big part. I know we added cameras, I believe, by the rec building. Matt, right? Correct. So we're going to continue working towards that as well.
Well, I'm kind of surprised about you saying that there was vandalism because we live around the corner and I haven't seen any of that. But that said, what about Ward 3? I don't think there's any park in Ward 3. What are you guys doing to look for land to provide parkland for the community in Ward 3? Madison Apartments, Walmart, Lowe's is there, things like that. Has the town really thought about that? I mean, every other county, every other ward has a neighborhood where they have something, except for Ward 3. And so, by the way, I appreciate you taking notes on that. But it's really something to look at, because I know Vina was talking about a few weeks ago about the land that you guys were assessing to sell behind, oh gosh, it's behind Route 9. It's on the other side of Route 9 towards Cheesequake State Park. There's an open space of land the town still owns. I can't remember the exact location. It's between Perrine Road and,
You're talking about the Summers property, which is the contaminated landfill?
no, that's the one down the southern part. That's the one that's next to all the
Nina,
contractors.
Excuse me. This is on a specific, the capital project, so you
Okay.
have to stay on point.
Okay.
If you
you're
made
right,
your point.
You're right.
Okay.
So I'd like to see the budget assign money in the capital budget, and we'd like to see the numbers assigned for Veterans Park, not just some, and we'd like to see money assigned in the capital budget directly to facilitate park area in Ward 3, and of course, not contaminated land. And if there is contaminated land, that should be cleaned up. But
Okay, that's your,
thank you.
okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Council President.
Yep, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this? Okay, seeing no hands, close the public portion, and now we'll go to a roll call, please.
Councilman Astatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity. Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sahar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next will be bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $75,000 for various arena utility improvements in and by the Township of Old Bridge in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $71,200 bonds on notes of the township for financing part of the appropriation.
Move it.
Okay?
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Astatuli.
Okay, I'll open it to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard? Okay, seeing no hands, I'll close the public portion and go for a roll call, please.
Councilman Astatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Yes. Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies. Have a good evening. Thank you, Vicki. Have a good night. Approval of minutes, resolution approving special meeting minutes for November 14th, 2024, and the regular council meeting minutes of February 11th, 2025.
So I did just want to make an announcement that these minutes were brought up by Councilwoman DeCaro and Councilman Desai as to their comments on the record. So I went back, revised the minutes, put their comments in, and I'm putting them back up for a roll call.
Okay.
Move it.
Okay, moved by Mr. Murphy, second by Mr. Asatuli.
Mr. Pasquity or Mr.?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it Mr. Pasquetti? I apologize.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Abstain.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Bill list, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, thank you. Bill list as of April 8, 2025. Accounts payable, April 8, 2025, $5,568,152.65. Payroll, March 28, 2025, $1,376,188.78. Payroll overtime, March 28, 2025, $35,063.22, and that completes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Anna, do you have a breakdown for us, please?
Yes, there was no major upticks in our overtime. The police overtime was $25,948.81. Deduct grants, $8,051.43. Deduct ETO, $1,168.38, for a total of $16,729. We have 2 officers currently on light duty. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Desai and second by Mr. Murphy.
Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next will be public hearing and or adoption for the ordinances for second reading. H1, ordinance establishing Hometown Hero Program in the Township of Old Bridge, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Okay, and moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second was Mr. Asatuli. I'll open it to the public. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to be heard on this second reading ordinance? Seeing no hands, I'll close the public portion and go to roll call.
Councilman Asatuli.
Absolutely. Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, ordinance for first reading, FR 1. Ordinance amending Old Bridge Township Code, Chapter 10, entitled Vehicles and Traffic. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Pescitti, second by Mr. DePalma.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai. Yes. Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes,
Public hearing set for April 22nd, 2025.
thank you. Consent agenda, I would ask for a motion and a second. Bring it forward, and then separations.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Pescitti.
Councilman Asatuli, any items for separation?
No, thank you.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
No, thank you.
Councilman DePalma.
No.
Councilman Desai.
No, thanks.
Councilman Garcia.
No, thank you.
Councilman Murphy.
No, thank you.
Councilman Pasquity.
No separations, thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Separations, thank you.
And Council President Sohar.
No, thank you. Okay, so we'll vote on the entire consent agenda, please.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquity.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, report of the township clerk.
I have just a small request that we do have our our elections, people who place our poll clerks. They are looking for a few poll clerks to fill a couple positions. So if anybody is interested or they know anyone that's interested, they could please reach out to the township clerk's office and we will pass the information along to the chairpersons.
Thank you very much. Report of the township attorney.
Nothing new to report, Madam President. Thank you.
Administrative report, Anna.
Thank you. All right, number one, Old Bridge to receive tonnage grant for recycling. The state has awarded $16.2 million in grants to communities across the state to help them enhance waste reduction and recycling programs. The annual awards are based on 2022 recycling performance, the most recent year for which this data is available. We are excited to announce that Old Bridge Township will receive $287,769.66, which was the top amount awarded in Middlesex County and one of the top 5 in the state. I think this is a true testament to our Public Works and Department and our recycling coordinator and the recycling division. They are always coming up with innovative ways to recycle, get the public excited about it, all these different programs, and this is a true testament for that. I mean, the numbers don't lie, the data doesn't lie. So this is a very big thing for us to be the top in the county. Municipalities must use their funds for various recycling initiatives, including enhancing recycling collection, making updates to recycling centers, sponsoring household hazardous waste events, providing recycling receptacles in public spaces, and maintaining leaf disposal operation. In addition to shaping recycling laws and rules, this grant allows municipal recycling coordinators to attend community events to educate residents about recycling, create a strong recycling ethic at the community level, and decrease the amount of waste disposed each day to improve the state's recycling rate. Congratulations again to our Public Works Department. Draft 2025-2029 5-year consolidated plan and 2025 annual action plan. Old Bridge Township is preparing a draft 2025 to 2029 5-year plan and 2025 action plan for the fiscal year 2025 CDBG program. These plans address and contain Old Bridge's housing and non-housing needs, objectives, proposed projects, and other requirement statements, which will be available during the period of May 15, 2025 through June 15, 2025, for review and comments. Residents may submit their comments by mail, email, telephone, or in person, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Comments will be accepted until April 30th, 2024. The plan will be available for public inspection during regular township hours at the Office of the Business Administrator and online at oldbridge.com/projects. On April 30th, a public hearing will be held on the 2025-2029 5-year consolidated plan and the 2025 annual action plan at 1 p.m. in the Old Bridge Township Administration Building located at 1 Old Bridge Plaza, Old Bridge, New Jersey, 08857, in the second floor conference room, room 217. Interested parties may attend the hearing and present their comments on the draft plan. This is in regards to the CDBG funding that I mentioned earlier during our budget presentation. Number 3, Old Bridge Home Improvement Program. If you live in Old Bridge, own your home, and your total gross annual household income falls below the HUD income limit for household size, you may qualify to participate in the Old Bridge Home Improvement Program. Applying is completely free. The funds are provided as an interest-free deferred loan with no monthly payments required. Your project will be monitored by professional inspectors, and the loan is only payable upon the sale or transfer of the property title. For more information, visit oldbridge.com/home improvement program. Number 4, spring leaf collection. The first round of spring leaf collection will begin on Monday, April 21st in all wards. Paper leaf bags should be placed at the curb the night before and kept outside all week. Please visit oldbridge.com/recycling for the full schedule. Number 5, Mayor's Health and Wellness 5K Race to honor hometown heroes. The Mayor's Health and Wellness Council, in collaboration with All Around Old Bridge, will be hosting a 5K race honoring our hometown heroes. It will be held on Saturday, April 26th at the Municipal Complex. The race registration will start at 7 a.m. and the race will start at 8 a.m. Please note that due to this event, the Old Bridge Library will have a delayed opening that day. For more information as to register, please visit oldbridge.com/5K. Finally, medicine take-back event. Turn in your unused or expired medication for safe disposal at the Medicine Take-Back event on Saturday, April 26th at the Municipal Complex from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It will be a drive-up and drop-off event. EpiPens, inhalers, injectables, syringes, and intravenous solutions will not be accepted. And this concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Anna. Does anyone have any question or comment for Anna? Okay, seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Move it.
Moved by Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Mr. Pescetti.
Roll call. Councilman Asatulli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
Council President Sohar.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, public comment portion.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items in the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. The township clerk will regulate the time during the comment portion of our meeting. As you approach the microphone, please state your name, no addresses.
Okay. Good evening. Anyone in the public wish to be heard?
Hello, good evening. My name is Diego Alessandro. I've been living in this town since the Reagan administration. I grew up here. While I did drop out of Old Bridge High School, I would have been a part of the class of 2002. Growing up, the only place in this town that I felt truly safe and accepted was at Old Bridge Public Library. I met so many of my heroes there. Musicians like Bruce Springsteen, Woody Guthrie, Pete Seeger, great filmmakers like Frank Capra, authors and poets like Walt Whitman. It was the one place in town that I ever felt accepted. I found myself at Old Bridge Public Library. It's part of what made me the man I am today, a man who was a small business owner. I've performed on stage with members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've graduated college after dropping out of high school as a sophomore. I won national awards in my major in college as an undergrad. And all of that success, all of that growth started at Old Bridge Public Library. I just wanted to speak on their behalf, the staff throughout the years that have been so kind to me. And I hope that you will join me in my never-ending and undying support for the members of our library. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard? Come forward, please. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Paul Moravec, and I live in Ward 6, Caddy Corner from Veterans Park. I've been a taxpayer and a resident of Old Bridge for 35 years now. And I didn't speak during the budget portion, but I did want to mention this one thing. The reason I've been here for 35 years is because of the quality of life, the services provided, and the fiscal responsibility that this town has provided to me. And the only reason I really stayed here. So I wanted to thank you for that. Now, the reason I'm here tonight to discuss a situation that's impacted me personally, my neighbors, and also its broader implications on the township as a whole. In February of last year, residents at 1233 Englishtown Road was sold, along with a treed residential lot that runs down Brunswick Avenue in front of my home. Over the course of the last 14 months, the new owner, Slick Rick LLC, has used the property on Englishtown Road in uses that appear to be non-compliant with our township code. I sent a message to Mr. Murphy back in December. He forwarded that to the appropriate code and zoning officials, and I wanted to publicly thank him for handling that so quickly. However, I'm really not here to discuss that matter further, as that issue is still ongoing with township officials. What I wanted to discuss tonight is an issue on the treed lot and an unintended consequence of a modification to the Tree Ordinance Chapter 457 of the Old Bridge Township Code. In 2023, an exempted areas section was added, 457-10, Section E. It's Ordinance 2023-08 as amended 2/28/2023. What this exemption was intended to do was improve Old Bridge Township's residents' ability to manage their properties without having onerous costs. The council should be complimented for trying to look out for us residents. However, bad actors have seen how to exploit this exemption. And this is what happened in front of our home. I sincerely believe that the council would not have passed this amendment as written had they thought someone would have done what I'm about to describe. The owner of the vacant treed lot across from us, Block 26055, lots 185 to 191, obtained a tree removal permit and was granted that permit using the exemption clause, Chapter 457-10, Section E, Paragraph 3. FYI, the owner of record on that property is the Vernon Boys LLC, and it's owned and managed by the same person who owns Slick Rick LLC.
I'm sorry, sir, that's your 3 minutes.
Am I allowed more?
I did pass down the pictures that the gentleman had provided for everybody to take a look at.
Administrator, if you want to follow up with me via email, send me the pictures and the additional information as well. I took notes of everything you've said, but I would like to hear the rest of that, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I didn't realize it was cut, so.
That's okay. I will make sure to share your comments with the rest of the council as well. So if you want to email me everything, I can share it with the rest of them.
Okay. When I was talking to Gary, he said sometimes there might be a little bit of liberty.
Okay. Oh, I feel bad. Yeah, she could finish, you know.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
you can have your wife get 3 minutes.
Excuse me, Ms. Jokowitz, can you, but please, I'd like to, if we could let her go first.
I know,
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Okay,
Paul's White Cat.
yeah, that's all.
I'm also.
You
pardon
do
me,
cleanup.
I'm also a
That's good.
retired environmental science teacher. So the fact that this Slick Rick LLC clear-cut the entire property, 76 mature trees, and some of them were over 100 years old. And as you can see from those pictures, the stumps are still, there.
Yeah,
My husband wants me to read the fact that he asked Dan Holohan of the zoning zone how long Slick Rick and the Vernon Boys had to restore the property, meaning removing all those stumps. It's been months. It's been since before Christmas, actually. It looks hideous. He said that the ordinance is currently in place didn't provide for that, so we are left with this property in this current condition. As you can see, you have pictures that you can ponder on. The Vernon Boys also might try to build a home there, and they're going to require a lot of variances, which who knows where they'll get them. So on top of that, the owner doesn't even live there. He lives in Aberdeen in Monmouth County. I guess it's a rental property. It really looks like a disgrace, and we would hope that you would amend the tree ordinance for future residents and find out when exactly this gentleman is going to do something with that property. I mean, you could see from the pictures that big plastic wrap around it. It's blowing around in the breeze, and the twigs are coming over into our yard, and a young girl lives down the street. She's afraid to walk down the block. It's a dead-end street. I don't know if you're familiar with it. And I don't even like to get the mail anymore because there's all kinds of crazy people doing work in the lot on a regular basis, but nothing ever seems to get done. So I hope that my husband will get in touch with Ms. Felice and give him the rest of the story on this. But, pardon me? Can you read this right here? So, yeah, please amend the tree ordinance for the future, require restoration with a certain time frame, and actually, more importantly, require a comprehensive plan for the property. Like, where are all these permits coming from? What's he doing with this property that runs on Englishtown Road and directly across the street from our home? Thank you.
for bringing it forward. We appreciate it. And Anna will be, naturally, she'll be in touch with you.
Please make sure you email me, just so that way I have your contact info and things like that, okay?
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, good evening.
Thank you. By the way, there's a property like that on Pleasant Valley Road where they've clear-cut several acres upon acres. Murphy is nodding. Everybody knows about it. We know. It's disgusting. That said, I didn't want to talk about anything sad tonight. I just wanted to make you guys aware that several weeks ago, I became the first licensed wildlife rehabilitator specialist here in Middlesex County. I'm the first licensed person in New Jersey, in Middlesex County, in just shy of 30 years. It's a volunteer job, of course, and I'm self-funded. That said, I wanted to remind everybody that we do have an amazing animal shelter, and we will work with them. The staff is fantastic. Everybody knows that. These folks have been working with me and my mentor for many years, and our town really does have a direct savings having a wildlife rehabilitator here in town and in general. Anybody who has any concerns about wildlife, they can reach out to me, and they can always contact the shelter, who will reach out to me. And rather than me giving my direct number right here and now. By the way, congratulations on all the union contracts completed. Congratulations on getting a budget for our community. Congratulations to Public Works on the money gotten. Great, Casey, for you and the team. As for all the residents, I wish everybody a wonderful post-Eid and peace to everybody. A great Passover, which is coming up, as well as Easter, which is around the corner. And hopefully spring will arrive soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone else from the public wish to come up and be heard this evening? Okay, seeing no hands, I will close public portion and go to council comments.
Councilman Asatuli.
Yes, thank you. First, obviously, thank you to the administration for making Old Bridge the best budget and always putting Old Bridge first. Number two, I like the fact that obviously we have something going on to make America healthy again, and the best part about it is when we build these parks and build out all these outdoor activities, it's good for the kids. A lot of kids and adults are always on the phone, but staying home, it gives them an opportunity to get outside and get some action and get some movement, which is very exciting. I did want to take a moment to express my deep appreciation for our new chief of police. In just a short time, he's shown exactly the kind of leadership that Old Bridge needs. When situations arose that could have shaken our community, he responded immediately with clarity, strength, and care. That kind of quick action doesn't just solve problems, it builds trust. And in Old Bridge, trust matters. Our community is safe, not by chance, but because of the hard work and dedication of the men and women who wear the badge. We see you and we appreciate you. Public safety is just one part of the foundation we're building here in Old Bridge. Our responsibility as leaders is to stay focused on what truly matters: smart fiscal policy, strong schools, safe streets, and solid infrastructure. These are the basics, but they're everything. That's what good government looks like. And that's exactly what our party continues to deliver for the people of Old Bridge. We're not here for politics, we're here to serve. And I thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Thank you, Kate. So I had some comments I was going to make, and I'm going to choose to not make them regarding some comments that were made last meeting because they just won't make a difference. What I will say, though, is that I will personally continue to work to serve the residents of Old Bridge, regardless of anyone's opinion of me or the narrative they choose to portray of me. I would like to mention the Y event that I attended last week, and they gave out some really great awards. I think everybody knows Bob Weiss. He received the Legacy Award. He was the Legacy Award recipient. Bob Weiss is a retired Marine Corps officer, and he's also the former captain of the Old Bridge Police Department. The Community Award recipient, which I think is really great, Muhammad Nabi, he got the award for, through his foundation, the Jimmy Foundation. He provided funding for the WISE swim program. 35 third graders, third grade students received water safety instruction through the efforts of Muhammad. And his foundation is very personal to him as he lost his nephew to a drowning incident. And he wanted to give back, and he created this, and you know, a great example of giving back and keeping his nephew's memory alive. The Service Excellence Award recipient went to the Old Bridge Y Health and Wellness Chronic Disease Team. I meant to mention our speakers. I like to do that first before I, Paul, last name Moore? Yeah. I'm glad that you came. I'm glad you spoke out. I'm glad that you got, you know, the response. I always tell people, come to a meeting, you know, share your concerns. You know, Anna is always very willing to help and hear you. So I'm glad that you guys came, and I'm glad that hopefully we'll have a resolution to your issue. Diego, the library is the best. I mean, like you said, you can go in there and just meet so many different people through books and everything. You know, you just go in there and it's immersive, and it's a wonderful place. And Nina, congratulations on getting your wildlife license. I know that you worked really, really hard for that. And the animals, thank you. And anybody that that needs help with animals, they know who to go to. So congratulations for that. That being said, I'd just like to wish everyone a very happy Passover, happy Easter. Enjoy with your family and friends. Spring will be here, hopefully, and stay safe and enjoy. Thank you.
Councilman De Palma.
Thank you. I just wanted to wish the Old Bridge High School indoor percussion the best of luck. I believe it's starting tomorrow, the World Championships in Dayton, Ohio. So good luck. They're a phenomenal group. Hopefully this year they bring it back. So good luck to all of them. Also, I just wanted to bring to note with everybody, this past weekend was the start of a lot of the spring sports, whether it was Old Bridge girls soccer, Saywood South baseball, a bunch of other sports as well. It was great to see all the kids out there again, even though Saturday coaching a soccer game in the rain was not exactly what I want to be doing, but it was great to see all the kids back out there again for the spring. just a reminder, and I'm sure everyone loves to hear this, Tuesday's tax day, 4/15, so everyone make sure that your taxes are filed. And then everybody, have a wonderful Passover, wonderful Holy Week starting on Sunday with Palm Sunday, and then a very, very happy Easter. Thank you.
Councilman Desai.
Happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy the holidays with the family. Stay together. I keep saying from last two meetings that winter is gone, but this winter, all winter is not going. One day you feel you are in spring, next day again it comes. So I hope next time when we meet, we will have a good weather for good time. Enjoy. Thank you for participating in this event.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes, thank you. I just want to, again, congratulate the mayor and the team, Dawn and Vicky and Anna and everybody, in getting this budget passed. Great job again. Can't say it enough. So thank you. Also, Casey, we never forget Casey. Casey's always doing something great in this town. Him and his team always doing something great, and Matt as well, of course. You can't exclude Matt, but Casey.
You too, Matt.
Yeah, you too. Good job, Casey. You and your team, good job. Every time we have money coming back, it's a good thing. So good job. Also, Diego, congratulations. Good job. I'm happy for you. Good thing for the library. Good thing. Happy Passover. Happy Easter. And let's go Mets.
Oh, my God.
We had to get it out there. Let's
knew he
go
was gonna do it.
Mets.
Oh,
So, guys, have a good night. Thank you.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes, I just want to say it was a great job by everybody done on that budget. I will keep on Casey about getting Brunswick. I saw him look at the pictures, but that's a disgrace there. And also West Greystone's got to be cleaned up. And congratulations, Nina, on your license. And that's all I want to say. Oh, have a happy Easter and a happy Passover. Okay.
Councilman Pasquini.
No comment, thank you.
Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes, thank you for bringing that situation with the trees to our attention. Your husband is correct when there are unintended consequences. That ordinance.
Former environmental science teacher.
Yes.
Also, recently retired.
Thank you.
3 months.
Thank you. Well, we are.
Bothers me.
Yeah, I know, it's very frustrating, and it bothers us that that happened. That ordinance was not changed, as you both stated. It was for the residents. When they came up, they would complain that they wanted to put a deck or a pool in their yard, that it was very expensive for the trees, and they wanted to do it. Sometimes you plant a tree and the tree dies also, so there's problems, the way, whether in a storm or anything, if it's too close to your house, people are very concerned. So with that, I am sure we are going to address it. But it was not intended for someone to obliterate a property like that. And it's very frustrating when you think that Arbor Day is coming this April, same time, Earth Day. So what happens with the trees? If you could imagine, if everyone just planted one tree on their property, what that would do for the environment, purifying the air, cooling the environment. It also is very similar because trees are needed for drainage also. So I am sure that we will be revisiting that ordinance, and I am very upset that that happened. And, something, I can assure you, something will be done between our, complaining, coming here and bringing it to our attention, but also with our business administrator, the attorney, et cetera. And we'll be revisiting with our engineer, Nicole, going over Ms. Shapiro, going over that ordinance and addressing it. So I did want to say, with the parks, we pay attention to the whole town. We do not exclude any ward at all. In Veterans Park, for example, I know that we were all there when the basketball courts were resurfaced. It is unfortunate that there was a skating area also that was a skate park that I know that was vandalized and damaged. These are the problems, that we have to deal with also. So we look at every park and everything that has to get done. In Ward 3, we redid Central Park. Near the Madison Park Firehouse, the girls softball league, we assisted them, helped them with the lighting and everything else. So we do not just concentrate on one area. Where there is a need, we certainly go out and we try to help them. I know I was friends with Councilman Reggie Butler, who was a councilman in Ward 3 for 27 years. And the bottom line is, it has always been a problem over there as far as land and what to do, how to get a park facility. But anytime there is space and something we could do, we will find a way to make an improvement. And we are very fortunate during that time that now we have acquired Cottrell Park. Doesn't matter where you are in the town, you should go visit there because it is quite amazing. Even now with the new ballparks that we put in at Menino Park, the girls softball league wants to go there because of the space that they have, the fields and everything to use it. So sometimes it's a logistic situation, not that we're ever ignoring anywhere. That is absolutely not the case, and to even think that. You go where you can do the best with the resources that you have. So we appreciate everyone bringing things forward, and as you can see, that we always try to move the town in the right direction. We appreciate it, and we will address that incident with these trees. Thank you. No one should do that. It affects the properties next door for storm, water runoff, and it's very upsetting that someone would do that. Take what was supposed to be intended for a good purpose and just ruin it. Thank you.
Council President Sohar.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have to strike a balance with these ordinances, and sometimes, you try to make things better, and then as you move forward, you see there's a little here and there, and then you come back and you revisit. They're kind of like a work in progress. We want to try to help all the residents and balance out the finances with what with the other things that are going on. So hopefully, this will be remedied. Also, we are trying, as Dr. Greenberg said, to put recreation everywhere. That's something that it's our goal, and I think the mayor and our administration have really moved forward in that direction and providing more for everyone. It's hard logistically sometimes, but I think we really are achieving. It was opening day this Sunday that just passed, and it was so nice to see, again, all the ball fields, all the kids coming out, especially the T-ball kids. They're just running, not really knowing where, but they're coming out to have fun. So that was a very, very good thing. The rec department had a dance program this weekend that Councilman DePalma's children participated in. So there's so many good things that went on and, are there to enjoy. So I hope everyone has a great holiday, be it Passover, be it Easter, and everybody just enjoy family and each other, and hopefully, we will see you again in May. Have a great night.
Mary, I'm sorry, Council President, can I just add something really quickly? Just a couple of things that were touched upon. Councilman Murphy, Councilman DePalma had reached out to me about 2 weeks ago about West Greystone, and as well as a resident actually reached out to me this morning, and I was working with our engineering team and Public Works. So Public Works already went out there today. They're going to be doing a litter cleanup tomorrow, and Casey's going to be working with engineering to go look at how we can temporarily fix and address some of the road issues. And I believe that it is on the 2025 resurfacing list, so I already advised the resident of the same. And then as far as touching on Council Vice President's comments regarding Ward 3 and the park situation, and as Dr. Greenbell mentioned, all of our parks are open to everyone. Everyone can get a permit to go play at Menino, one of our fields. Anyone can go to at Guy Park, any of those things. It's open to everyone. It's not just for one group, one individual, one resident, one ward. It's open to everybody. So please, I encourage all of you, if you have interest and want to rent out facilities or anything like that, please make sure to reach out to our Parks and Rec department. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else, Mayor, did you want to add anything, or you're good? Okay, all right, very
Council
good.
President, I just want to apologize to my daughter who was in the dance recital that I didn't remember to say that, so. Brianna, I'm very sorry.
Okay. So we're going to take a motion to enter into executive session. We will be returning after, to come back into public portion. So it's a resolution to exclude the public for contract negotiations for ASME Local 3231-3 and contract negotiations of agreement in which township is or may become a party, attorney-client privilege discussion. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Moved by
Ma-
Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by
Who seconded down there? De Palma? Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro?
Yes.
Councilman De Palma?
Yes.
Councilman Desai? Councilman Garcia?
Yes.
Councilman Murphy? Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli? And Council President Sohar?
yes. Okay, well, what are we doing? to have someone make a motion to come back
Move it.
into public section.
Moved by
Dr.
Vice President. Second by Councilman DePalma. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy. Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Council President Dr. Greenberg Belli, yes? Yes. Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Back into open session, 10:15 PM.
All right, very good. Okay, next will be, excuse me, resolution ratifying and improving memorandum of agreement between the Township of Old Bridge and AFSCME Local 3231-3, 2025 through 2028. Okay, moved by
By Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Pasquini. Roll call, Councilman Asatoli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay, next I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move it.
Move it. Second.
Okay.
Moved by Councilman DePalma, second by Councilman Pasquini. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeCaro.
Yes.
Councilman DePalma.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Garcia.
Yes.
Councilman Murphy. Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Council President Sohar.
Yes, thank you. Have a good evening.
Meeting adjourned at 10:16 PM.